for asking me to be the best man. It is a real honour. And I'd also like to congratulate the bridesmaids for looking so smashing today. Second only to the beautiful bride.
Is that working? Does that mean it's working?
I don't know.
No.
However, I do have to take issue with your choice of groomsmen. You could have chosen at least one that was more my height.
Oh, okay.
Instead of making me stand up there with the three tallest people that you know. I started to think this whole thing was just an expensive way to humiliate me in public. Thankfully, it's now my turn to get even, since I get to talk about Mark for the next few minutes. So what do you get when you cross a girl who works in audiology and a guy who works for the Federal Police? Two people that are about to cop an earful.
It is good.
For those of you who don't know me, my name's Tom, and Mark and I have been friends since Year 8 art class, where we both shared a common lack of any artistic talent. But we compensated by making each other laugh and turning that into an art form. We also shared poor language and grammar skills. An example of this was between subjects at school, we'd ask each other, "Do we got English next?" Our friendship also existed outside of school. Like when we were 15, we were fortunate enough to work together every afternoon at Penny's Butchers in Mona Vale, where our boss used to argue with his wife and then turn to Mark and myself and say to us, "Don't get married, stay gay." Well, look who broke their promise. We actually did tell the boss that we're straight, but a small part of me still thinks that if Mark was alone in a room with either Bear Grylls or Chuck Norris, temptation will happen. He spent a lot of time with the Scouts, which finally culminated in him being awarded the Queen Scout Badge, which is the highest achievement that a Scout member can earn during their career. But I couldn't help but think that he was overlooked as a recipient for a number of other badges, such as the "I can quote every line from the Predator movies" badge. Then there's the classic "I pass out in a stranger's dog kennel whilst drunk at a party" badge. Twice. And then some sort of badge in honour of his high tolerance to pain, which he earned recently during the highlight event at his Bucks night. If you're there, you know what I'm talking about. We've been through a lot together, and our friendship has had many highs and some lows. One of these lows was when we were both attacked by 4 guys in a car park in Warriewood. I remember being a bit scared at the time, but Mark, remembering his old scout training, snapped into action immediately and proceeded to block all the kicks and punches with his face and ribs. These are just some of the early memories I have when I think about the old Mark. But at some point, however, along came a blonde named Mindy. She had him reformatted, updated his system, and downloaded all new software. And I'm sure she was happy to find that he was completely and 100% virus-free. I wasn't actually there when they met, so I've often wondered how he snagged her. Was it his prized collection of Rocky movies that won her over? Or could it have been his impersonation of Rambo that made her heart skip a beat? In all honesty, I believe it was just that Mark was being Mark and Mindy was being Mindy, so the chances of them getting together were already really strong. When he finally told me that he was going to marry her, I was really happy for him. But at the same time, I had that selfish thought in the back of my head, which seemed to say that the party will be over, as he'd have to start settling down and I'd hardly get a chance to hang out with him anymore. But after spending some time with both of them as a couple, it became clear that the party was just becoming bigger, better, and a whole lot more fun too. It's an understatement to say that Mark has changed since meeting Mindy. I don't think it's any coincidence that they've been together for 5 years, and it's been 5 years since we've seen Mark wearing his tracksuit pants out in public. Over time, I've come to know Mindy, and I've seen that she has adopted some of Mark's mannerisms and quirks too. Like when she sarcastically uses the word brilliant whenever he says something stupid. It's easy to see why Mark loves her. She's beautiful and good-hearted and very, very tolerant of his annoying friends, or friend. And she really has brought out the best in him. And when I look at Mark now, I see the man that he's become. The good nature he has, his even temperament, kindness and loyalty, and his ability to always form the opposite opinion of anything I happen to say to him. And with any luck, these good genes will be passed on to their future kids. Or if Mark's fashion history has taught us anything, it won't be his good genes, it'll be his good tracksuit pants. So finally, to wrap this up, I ask all of you to raise your glasses again while I toast the happy couple, and I wish them a happy and healthy future together. Cheers. Cheers.
He's having a cute Saturday night. He's actually a comedian. That's why it's so freaking hilarious. Mains will be served shortly.
I told you, it is good. It is.